Do you ever find yourself speaking on the phone and they ask you to repeat yourself? Or you simply procrastinate talking on the phone because you know it's not going to go well? I get it. I've been there. In this video, we're going to give you some tips on how you can fix that. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Ben Latour, your coach for clear, confident, natural English. In this video, we're going to be covering 3 tips that you can start implementing today in order to make speaking on the phone in English a lot easier. Now, the first thing you can do in order to improve your speaking skills on the phone is actually to improve your listening skills. Why? Well, think about it. Especially when you're speaking on the phone, you don't have the non-verbal, especially not the non-verbal that is facial expressions, hand gestures, that give you so much information about how the other person's thinking. Now, if you practice listening, especially listening to the accents that you're going to be speaking to, you're going to make it a lot easier for yourself to practice speaking English and use it on the phone. What do I mean by this? Well, let's say, for example, you live in the United States. You're probably better off practicing by listening to people who speak with an American accent. Makes sense, right? But a lot of people really miss out on this. If you're living in the US or you want to move to the US or you work with American or Canadian clients, as great as it might sound, listening to an audiobook of Harry Potter with a British person speaking isn't going to give you as much adaptation as listening to an audiobook with an American person. Now, this might not have been the thing that you would have been looking for so far when you're getting an audiobook, but let's say you go on Audible, listen to the sample. Listen, is that person British? Is it South African or the Australian or the American? And figure out, is that the kind of accent that I want to be learning? And if that is close to what you want to, then go for that one over another one that is not the accent you're looking for. Now, mind you, you can also use TV shows for this, same as movies. That being said, what's important here is that you practice also listening and not focusing on the context. Okay, when you're watching a TV show or a movie, you have a lot of information based on how the people are acting from the context, and that can be very useful for learning the language in general. But remember that we're trying to improve your skills on the phone, so you want to practice just listening. A couple of resources you can use to improve your listening skills are, of course, audiobooks, as I mentioned, and podcasts. Music is also a great way. That being said, there's a little bit more nuances when it comes to music, so I'll probably cover that in another video. The second tip here is probably going to seem obvious to you at this point, but practice. Practice is so very, 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 very important. If you don't practice, you don't actually develop the skills to be able to, do anything. It takes a certain amount of repetition and practice in order to get good at what you're doing. It doesn't matter if it's speaking on the phone in English or marine biology or getting very, very good at baseball. Whatever it may be, you gotta practice it. And in the case of practicing to be good on the phone, well, speak on the phone more. There's a lot of things you can do in order to do this. Now, there are some online services that can help you, but again, practicing by listening to a lot of audiobooks can be really great, but also go ahead and speak on the phone. Find some native speakers, find people that can help you and send them voice messages. Call them on the phone, and you're gonna get a lot of practice. Now, to really maximize the practice, you want to make sure that you're able to get good feedback. Because if you do practice and you're practicing with somebody who's, I'm going to say, nice and doesn't actually correct you or tell you how to make the adjustments you need, I'm sorry to say, but you're going to make the same mistakes over and over again, which is obviously not what you're looking for. You're trying to make progress, right? So this is why at the time of recording, we offer all of our clients phone sessions, really time to speak on the phone with a native speaker, somebody who's able to listen and allow them to practice in a safe, non-judgmental space, and then actually give them feedback that is tied into the overall course, the overall project and feedback that you're going to get in order to make the improvements that you're looking for. But you don't necessarily need to have a specific service like that in order to make improvements, as long as you have somebody who's able to give you the feedback that you need and the tools to be able to implement that feedback. Now, the third and final tip I have for you today for speaking on the phone easier is actually to improve your pronunciation. Now, it goes without saying that if your pronunciation, your accent is better, people won't ask you to repeat yourself so much. And that one's a little bit obvious here, but it's very, very important and should not be underestimated. More important, however, is that you should be mindful that if your pronunciation actually improves, you know how to create sounds differently, you know how to hear sounds differently, and you're able to correct your own habits, you'll notice that the way you understand native speakers speaking is a lot more fluid, a lot more natural, and easier to understand. I think of one of our clients who, just a couple months ago, he was telling me how watching his favorite TV show became so much easier once he improved his pronunciation. Or doing regular things like phone calls or meetings at his job became so much simpler because he got better at speaking himself. By showing him all the strategies and the little things that native speakers do with their speech, in order for him to do it, he started to realize what the others were doing around him, and that made it a lot easier for him to not only understand, but recreate those things to have natural conversations himself. And I hope these tips were helpful for you. I've gone very, very quick overview on these. If you have any other questions, drop them in the comments or send us a message. We also have free discovery sessions on our website, latolanguage.com. Drop over there, apply for a free discovery session, and you can find out more about how you can improve your English overall, ranging from pronunciation to listening skills to overall feeling confident when you speak so that you're able to do whatever your life demands of you, whether it's job, friendships, personal reasons, whatever it may be. English is such a valuable tool, and we're going to help you make it your tool. Now, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe, and see you next time. Good luck.